Okay, welcome back. In this video, we are going to look at crude oil. We're going to do a deep analysis. So what I want you to do is to follow along, especially if you're not in the trading club, because if you are there, then you know you get all the charts. But if you're not there yet, what you want to do is pause the video. I'm going to give you levels starting at the weekly time frame, and we're going to walk it on down so that you can make some good trades this week with crude oil. Of course, when you see this video, if it's before Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there might be gaps in the market. So of course, we're going to do our technical analysis, assuming there are no gaps, but I'm going to give you levels and I'm going to give you places to look for within crude oil. And before we get started in the analysis, if you have not yet had a chance to do so, you want to go over to the link in the description and you want to go ahead and subscribe to Learn to Trade and Invest Smarter for free. I am a big believer that no one should be paying for trading courses because after you do it, within 30 days, you forget it. So I'm giving away all the content. I don't charge for courses. All courses are free. And I really want to do a heavy emphasis on high school students, college students, or really any adult who wants to start working smarter and not harder. Come on in here. Make sure you use a good, valid email and let me send you small, bit-sized lessons delivered to your inbox. Perfect for beginners, maybe somebody who's just starting out or somebody who's been struggling. Learn at your own pace, no time commitment. Again, get practical tips on growing your wealth from day one. And again, if you know people who could use this information, just share this page. You'll see the link down below and I'll see you on the inside. Okay, so let's begin to analyze crude oil on a weekly level. We can see here that we have been lifting over the last couple of weeks after we had this huge spike up and gap up when some of the conflict began and the bombs began with regards to the overseas stuff between Israel and Gaza. And of course, then the U.S. bombings happened shortly after there. So again, this was a direct correlation of that. Okay, since we've been dropping ever since, but now the last couple of weeks, we've begun to see crude oil beginning to creep up. And we've been talking about this level here inside of our trading club. And for anything else, just because there is a lot of liquidity sitting in this candle. Okay, they usually are going to come back up to grab at least 50% liquidity, if not higher. So we're going to give you these levels as we kind of progress through the analysis here over the next few minutes. So hang out. And if at any point you're grabbing some value, hit that like button for me. That's all you need to do. And it's free. And I greatly appreciate it. You can help out the old guy. All right. So we've got this level up here at 78.26. We scroll over to the left. And then we have this bottom level down here at 54.40. This is again using the August 2025 crude oil futures chart. So make sure if you're following along, even though you may not have futures, you should see the exact same price action with your broker. Okay. So we're going to mark up these levels. I'm going to call them out in case you're on a small mobile phone. You can kind of write them down or come back to this video. That's 76.32. Then we want to look at 73.87. And then we want to look at around 70.18, which is kind of the exact same thing as about 70. Then we want to look at about this level here, 65.72. And then we want to look down here, right around this level here. We're going to look around this level here because that was from the previous contract inside of futures. So now we are going to begin to kind of zoom in here. And again, these are just weekly levels. Okay, so I'm going to leave the weekly levels here in white. Now, when we head over to our daytime, okay, this is where we begin to make smaller adjustments because we can begin to look at this now since most of us are trading on a day time frame or 8-hour time frame. Some of you are in prop firms, so you need to close by the end of the day. You really don't need to be at a weekly level, but you definitely should be exploring the daily level. And now we've seen this rejection here on multiple occasions. So we're going to zoom in, and our current playing field is really between 69 and about 64.32. Okay, you can see that we've been between both of these levels here. This level came down on Tuesday, June 24th, and as of last Friday, July 11th, we have been ranging between 64 and 69. So as we kind of move up here on a bigger time frame, okay, again, until we don't get a closure above this 69 area, okay, we're not going to expect 70 to be hit. But now we're going to remove this 70 level, and I'm going to show you why. Because if we kind of come back here, and can we go over to the left, okay, we can see this level right here has rejected on multiple occasions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So we're going to raise that level to about 71, 73. So on a daily time frame, all right, we will not take another long on crude oil because we have been long all week, okay? Since this kind of started here, okay, we've been kind of following this trend line inside the trading club, and so we've been just waiting for the pullbacks to buy the longs, but we're not going to go long again until we have at least an 8-hour candle that closes, okay, above 69. Okay, if we can get a 8-hour candle to close above 69, then we're expecting price to come back into this critical area and then possibly continue up to that next level. So this has to happen, and I'm going to label it for you. And that way I already have it done for my members. I'm going to label it for you, right? This needs to be an 8-hour close, okay? Not even a 4-hour. We want to see an 8-hour close. And again, that's the beauty. All my members get their charts with notes, so that way it makes it much easier for them, no matter what time of day, to go back and reflect. So this is the levels that we're looking at, okay? Now, here at this level right here, we have kind of price trapped at this level. Let's keep this yellow, okay? So we have kind of price trapped on here. We are not going to yet short the market until we go all the way down to a 4-hour and we see any type of evidence that the market is going down with a break of structure. You can see here that when we did call out a very quick short sell down to the trend line, it was because we had broken this structure at 67.90. Okay, this is the way you trade intraday. So we've got our key levels here. Okay, I'm going to keep marking this up here. Okay, we've got a pretty viable area here that's bounced off on a couple of occasions. So now on the 4-hour chart, this is all you need to do. We're waiting for price action, okay, to dictate the next move. Okay, you really want to avoid trading in this space right here. So if you notice over here, we had all this consolidation. We were basically doing nothing right here. We did have some folks who, of course, scalped down from the high and bought from the low, but this is a very dangerous area. Usually this is an area where we tell folks do not do anything in this area until we get a confirmation, okay? So what is that confirmation going to be? Well, that is going to be the two scenarios that we just talked about, okay? And again, we may have a Sunday gap that opens or not, but in this long scenario, a long scenario is going to look something like this. If we do get that closure, then we're waiting for a break and retest. We're going to put our initial stop below this level, and we're hoping to get at least a 2-to-1 on that trade setup there. Okay. This short possible scalp will only happen is if you see this exact same price action. Now, it could be one candle and you miss it. Not a big deal. At that point, now what we're looking for is we're kind of looking for a next break of structure, which will be here on the 4-hour chart. If we can get a break of structure below, and we'll go ahead and mark this up in red, then what you do is you set up your zone, which we'll do right here in yellow. And then we're looking for a possible retest. Let's grab another arrow. If this comes continue down, usually won't shoot straight down, may come back up to kind of retest this area right up here near the trend line. And then we'll see continuation, back down possibly towards 64. So we're kind of stuck in this area. This is kind of what we're looking for here. Now at this level here, because this was based on a 4-hour here, we're only looking, because we don't need as much confirmation, okay? This needs to be a 4-hour candle. Okay, so this close only needs to be a 4-hour candle for us to take it right back down to this next level. Just to get an idea, okay, these levels run almost 195 points. That's a hell of a trade. You don't need to take 195 points, but it'll give you definitely some movement there. So we're kind of waiting for this trend line to break if we're really going to go further down. I do believe that because of this liquidity up here, okay, I believe we are going to eventually target this blue line area. I don't know if they're going to go that far initially. So I'm going to kind of be safe and kind of look at this 7120-ish area as a possible target once this breaks. Once this breaks and closes, okay, because I believe they're going to come back for this liquidity zone right in here. Okay, so this is heavy liquidity sitting in this candle right in here. Okay, now if we kind of zoom back out a little bit, we still have liquidity sitting up here, but we're just going to trade it level to level. And of course, inside of the trading club, you are also getting our Elliott Wave master, Mr. Brad, who's giving you the Elliott Waves as part of your package for you to stay in trades longer, trade less, and make more with Elliott Wave. So that's also included in the plus plan as well. And again, if you don't know, you can save 50% on your first 30 days. I'm going to honor that, okay, for everyone. That was a June kind of special, but I'm going to continue it because we've had so many people come on and they cannot believe the value that they are getting. So come on in, try it for 30 days. And guess what? If you don't like it, just hit the cancel button. You're going to waste $14 on other stuff, but I can guarantee you this $14 is going to be one of the best returns on your investment, or $18 if you pick the Elliott Wave package, which is well worth it as well. Okay, so this is the bigger outlook for crude oil on both sides. Make sure that you use caution. With crude oil, you do have to pay attention to the fundamentals. Keep an eye on the crude oil inventories. That usually happens on Wednesdays in the morning. Also, keep an eye out for any tariff-related news because that does impact the price of crude oil. And then, of course, anything that may trigger crude oil spiking up, which could be anything globally that can happen as well. And again, we've got you covered in the club because we share news and everything else to make sure that we do our best, that we are on top of everything going on across the globe. Happy trading. I wish you and your families the best. Don't forget to be kind to someone this week. It could be a stranger. It could be a family member. It could be a loved one. Whoever that is, show more acts of kindness because it is needed in today's world. Thanks for watching.